Hey friends, it's me. As you probably know, we are coming to the end of 2017. Today as I'm filming this, it is currently Saturday, December the 30th, so I have a day and a half of 2017 left. I was watching Ariel Bassett's video and she had a whole little montage of the cool things that she did this year in combination with the books that she read, and she had some really cool categories that she used to kind of give us a picture of what her reading year looked like. And I thought I would do the same because why not? Ariel's really cool. I want to be like her one day, so I thought I would follow in her footsteps and do something rather similar. I can talk for days, but I'm going to stay focused so that I don't. First thing I want to mention is the number of books that I read in 2017. So as of today, I have read 57 books. I have to admit I am currently reading Lord of the Flies. I may not finish it by the end of the year, so oh well. The shortest book that I've read this year is Kindred Spirits by Rainbow Rowell, and I guess technically it's considered a novella. That is, I want to say it's 96 pages, and it's about this girl who is really pumped about going to watch Star Wars, and I think it's around the time that The Force Awakens originally came out, which was like last year, but anyways, it was around the time that the movie came out, and so we're following her story while she's waiting in line and how she is interacting with the different people who are in line and kind of just seeing what's going on in her head during that experience. So for the longest book that I've read, I was able to read Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows by J.K. Rowling. I don't know how to say her last name. But anyways, that is 784 pages. That very, very extreme. For me, at least, I'm not a long book reader, but it was Harry Potter, so I had to finish the series, right? For those who don't know, Harry Potter is a series of 7 books, and we're following our main character Harry Potter, who discovers that he's a wizard, and so every year he's discovering more about himself, more about where he came from, the whole wizarding world, and about a bad guy who's pretty upset that he's still alive. So this last book, it wraps everything up. You just get really, really invested in everybody's story. I now see what all the fuss is about. I now get it. I now understand why so many people are into Harry Potter, because it's great. The prettiest book that I read, I'm going to say, is Wildwood. I believe it's by Colin McCoy. If I'm wrong, I'm going to correct myself some way or somehow. This book, it follows our main character named Prue, and while she is out with her baby brother, she actually witnesses her baby brother being taken away by a murder of crows. And this is a very scary, a very puzzling experience for her. So she has to figure out who took her brother, why this is happening, and what she can do about it. And so while she's doing that, she goes into this world called Wildwood. And so where she lives, I think she's in Portland, Oregon. And so if she keeps walking toward a particular part of the woods in Portland, she's actually transported into Wildwood, where there are talking animals and just a whole lot of things that she's never seen before. Next one is favorite author of 2017, and for this question, I'm going to say that Seanan McGuire is my favorite author of 2017. I read Every Heart a Doorway and Down Among the Sticks and Bones by her, and they're these short little books, and she has this way with words that's just spectacular, and she has this gift of putting stories into small books that still leave you satisfied. It didn't seem rushed, it didn't seem like she was leaving things out, it was just enough, which was amazing. And as a self-proclaimed short book lover, it's just all that. And so with Every Heart a Doorway and Down Among the Sticks and Bones, they're part of the Wayward Children series. In Every Heart a Doorway, we meet these children and teenagers who were in some way transported into these different worlds, into these different realms, and for some reason or another they come back. And the way that it's mentioned in the book, it's almost thinking about what happens after Alice comes back from Wonderland and how do they adjust to the world around them. And that's basically what we're focusing on right here. Again, imagery was beautiful. I just can't with her writing because it's amazing. So yeah, favorite author, Shauna McGuire. My most read genre for 2017, I would say it would be graphic novels. I read a lot of graphic novels this year. I want to say I read like 14 of them. I'm very glad that I got to read more of them than last year, and I want to continue with that trend. The most disappointing read for me of 2017 was it definitely was Sphinx. And I don't remember the name of the author. I know that the author is French, so it was a translated work. And I originally heard about this book because I knew that it was a genderless book, and so the main character, we never find out what gender they are, and that person's love interest, we don't find out what gender that person is either. However, I just got really frustrated with the main character. Even though we don't know the gender, we do know that the main character is white and their love interest is black. The main character, they just seem to be so like caught up on the fact that they have this love interest who is black, and it's like, oh, people are probably going to be so shocked when they see us together, and it's like, oh, I'm so light and that person is so dark. It got really frustrating. It was like, well, what is this individual actually bringing to the table? Why actually are you attracted to this person? Is there something internally that's drawing you to them, or is it just the fact that they are, you know, this exotic black being? And it really frustrated me. Like, my gears were ground. Like, it was grinding my gears. And another thing which is very frustrating too is that the main character, I believe they currently were in college or something like that. It was like post high school education, and that person let you know that they were this educated individual, and the other people that around that person were not as educated as they were, and it was like, oh, I'm so educated, blah blah blah. I was like, why is it that important? Like, it's not even that deep. So it was that, and then again about the relationship that the person had with their love interest. Like, a lot of the descriptions had to do with that person's body and their physique. And again, I started thinking about how people of color are fetishized. I meant this word, I just can't say it, but how that's a thing, and how sometimes people of color and black people, like, they just can't be without their bodies or their shapes or whatever being sexualized. And that just, I was not for that. So no, absolutely not. So now I want to get into my top 5 reads of 2017. I try to go through these rather quickly because my battery's about to die, but let's see what happens. So the first one I'm going to talk about briefly is 1984 by George Orwell. Classic dystopian novel. We're following our main character who lives in this Big Brother society, and one day he's just like, what if there's more? Like, what is really out there? What is the truth? Because he knows that the government is providing information that's not valid, and he knows that the people who are there, that society, they're being misled, and he just can't deal with that anymore. And so he is figuring out what's true, what's not. He's seeing if there's anybody else around him that feels the same way, and it's just beautifully written. I was thinking about that book for days after I finished reading that book. So yes, 1984, loved it. Second book I want to talk about is The Smell of Other People's Houses by Bonnie Sue Hancock. This book is set in the 1970s in Alaska, and we're following different perspectives. For example, one person, she is really interested in auditioning for this ballet company, but she knows that the audition is at the same time that she's supposed to spend time with her dad, and she doesn't really get to spend time with her dad, so she has to like figure that out. Another one, we're following these 3 brothers, and their father is not in their life for some reason, and so one of the brothers is really set on figuring out what happened with his father. We have another storyline where she's an indigenous person of Alaska, and so there's things that's happening with her family. And what I really love about the book, in addition to the imagery, in addition to See, this is getting like really, really dark. But in addition to the imagery, in addition to the writing, is the fact that they're all connected. And I love, I don't know, we're just gonna keep going with it, but I love a book or a story that's connected, meaning like there are a lot of ensemble characters that some way, shape, or form they're all together, which is amazing. Next book I want to mention is Every Heart a Doorway by Sean McGuire. I kind of already talked about that before, but loved it. Next book that is part of my top 5 is Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. I mentioned that one too. Beautiful, loved it. Now I want to watch all the movies. And last but not least, if my battery doesn't give out, is The Bluest Eye by Toni Morrison. This book, wow. People have said, and I've read that since The Bluest Eye is her first book, her writing definitely progresses from there. However, I mean, I haven't read anything else by her yet, but if this was her first work, like, I'm excited to see what else she's written. Bluest Eye, we're following several people actually, but it kind of starts with these 2 sisters and their parents. And so the 2 sisters, they have like a pretty okay life. Like, they're not the richest, but they're not the poorest either. And so there's this girl that they know who starts to live with them, and it's because a lot of stuff is happening with that girl's family, and we're just learning about what this not little girl, but what this girl has gone through, and we're just hearing a lot of different perspectives. I loved it. I thought it was great. All the light is leaving me and I'm just being lit by my laptop. I am going to say goodbye for now. I hope that you guys are doing well. I hope that you guys are gonna have a great new year, and I will see you in the next one. Okay, bye.